Now, today is the 10th of February 2026. CRAZII Global Market Talk with KEL. CRAZII anytime, anywhere. Now, today is going to be a big day for traders. You need to watch out for some of the very important things. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned and listen to what I have to share very, very soon. Yeah, let's just take some pictures here. Quick one. Okay, all right. So before that, disclaimer apply as usual. Please make sure that you do your risk management accordingly. Okay. All right, first of all, let's bring in the fundamentals. Now, the fundamentals, we have a big few news here. Today, Nikkei continuing to post higher rally as Asia market higher. We have a very strong Nikkei at the moment right now. S&P 500, or S&P Standard & Poor's is predicting a China property slump will be worse than expected this year. I mean, this is very typical propaganda. And of course, the private credit worries resurface in the 3 trillion market as AI pressure software firms, yeah? Because we all know that recently the AI counters have came down quite a fair bit. And that basically, once again, stress out the market and people getting worried and asking whether can the AI market survive. Well, to me itself, it will survive. This pullback is really expected to happen. So it's nothing new over here. After that, it's time to buy again, okay? And of course, we know that Oracle gained by 9% yesterday, while Microsoft climbed 3% as we have a very strong bounce yesterday. And of course, we have one more news at the back. Yes, indeed, the US Treasury yields was little change as investors are preparing for today's and this week all the economical data. Okay. All right, so S&P 500 score back-to-back gain as the tech rises. Dow Jones touched new record level, 50,000. Now, seriously, I have expected a Dow to hit 50,000 by end of the year. I never expected it to happen now, immediately. So, okay, I'm wrong and right at the same time. The thing is this, is the Dow really worth 50,000? Now, that is going to be a very big thing to talk about. So I'm going to bring in this called the S&P PE ratio. Okay, I'll bring in shortly. Okay, we're going to come to that. There is a multiple that I have to use, this one here. Okay, all right, come back to this one first. All right, so basically the Dow it's a 20-point gain. Okay, record high level. All right, we have NVIDIA and Broadcom all stand out very well. And of course, at the same time, we all know that the Dow has hit 50,000 while Bitcoin plunged and recovered from 60,000. And at the same time, we all know that the market now is waiting for the delayed January report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is due on Wednesday. The release will be initially scheduled for last Friday, but was postponed, remember, due to a partial shutdown last week, yeah? And it came after ADP report that only a 22,000 job was created in January, way below the expectation. So the thing is this, the market now is only anticipating a 55,000 gain for January, and that means that we are again below the 100,000 level, and that really reflects the problem in US in terms of the unemployment data. But the thing is this, because the market is pushing up so strongly, tech shares, AI, tech share, AI, the market don't really bother. So the thing is this, that's definitely the backyard of US is burning, but the front part itself is beautiful. So that is the thing here. The market is focusing the front, not the back. So only when the front get into some serious trouble, then you will see everybody will just tell you this happened, that happened. But we all know that it really happened. So the data for today, retail sales, 0.4% expected, while the previous was 0.6%. That tells you again, the current earnings now is not fantastic, yeah? Now, tomorrow, that is where the big news is. Tomorrow, we're going to expect a non-farm payroll. This site says that there is about 70,000 forecasts, okay, higher than the one that we saw in CNBC. And the unemployment looking at 4.4%, okay? And of course, for this week, we have the initial jobless claim on Thursday. And of course, the CPI is going to be the big one. And we know that recently the US crude oil price has been going up. Commodity price has went up a fair bit too. So all this should be able to give a little bit pressure on the CPI. Now, this is the PE ratio that is showing that basically we are not actually at a very overbought situation apparently. So now we are at the higher level, that's for sure. The average is about 16. and now we are 29. But if you look compared to the October 2020, where we have the pumping of the money, we have it at a high level at 35. And of course, with a crazy number back in this 09 period. Then of course, we have the other one that is something happening in the 2002. And of course, the last one was back in 1999. So based on this, we are not too far. We are not very at a high level, yeah? So the thing is this, I believe that there's going to be a pullback in the market soon. And when that happens, we should be looking towards it, okay? Now, more people are joining me on the Twitter X itself. For me, I'll share with you some of the interesting stuff. So one thing I checked out this particular chart, I kind of like it in a way. And this is the mega cap tech, which is FANG plus shares. And this particular guy called Mac10, he says that now we do have the NASDAQ VIX basically having a downside movement while we have a upside version on the market. So now the thing is this, based on the facts, there is a possibility for the market to drop quite a fair bit. But of course, I kind of agree with this, not to the maximum of the level, but something similar. And of course, Bitcoin, there are some people now doing some forecasts, and they say that Bitcoin can go down to 42,000. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If Bitcoin do ever go to 42,000, I'm going to believe that Michael Saylor will be very, very upset because his average price is about 70,000 and the market now is at the same level. So it's back to square one again. But you mustn't forget, he borrowed the money, had to pay interest to pay. So there's a lot of things he has to do, yeah? So I kind of believe the curve at the back that later on it will go back up again. But I'm not buying that go to 42,000. But that is my personal view. I'll see my charts very shortly. Okay, guys, so I finished the fundamental. Let's look at the technical now. All right, the technical shows us very clear that the Dow Jones, the gold market today is still a CCRY chart. Yeah, it's still a CCRY, red to yellow. So by right, as long as the market stays above OP, it will be a buy. This morning, it came down. Yeah, it came down, broke the MLP, and then after that, came down very near to the KCB and recovered. Now, do note once again, the KSI is green. The KCX is black. So that means the buying will be there at the bottom. Yeah, the market will be buying from the bottom. So you have to take note on that particular area. Now, today, the big thing is that the pivot 2 is holding the market down. If the market do cross pivot 2, it will definitely fly upwards, okay? Now, the target could be as high as 5,201 if the market go crazy, which is all possible, yeah? So for that, it is possible for the market to behave like that. So traders, you need to watch out for this, okay? All right, so this one is for you to take note. Now, let's just stick with the 5-minute chart and how do we trade today. 1 minute. Having a bit of technical issue here. Okay. Okay, here we go. So this morning, the market opens and it flew up very fast. But one thing to note, it did not go to KTR plus 1. It did not. KTR plus 1, all right, didn't hit, okay? So there is a possibility for the market to try it later, yeah, to KTR plus 1, yeah? Okay, so what happened was that the market opens and instantaneously, pum, the market came down to KTR plus -3. So the market had finished the selling very early in the morning. And then after that, it tried to recover. Okay, it tried to recover. And of course, we can see that it tried to go above the KTR -1, pulls back. But very interestingly, you can see it hangs around the KTR -2 level. And now we do have the 4 diamond in play. And now we can see that it crossed the 4 diamond with the KSI green, which is very clear. The market came down, but the KSI was green. So the market bought up again. So because of that, right now, there is a very high possibility for the market to challenge the OP level later today. But until it traveled to the OP, if not at the moment, you still cannot do any buying unless you're doing the elite or the CMC PTP skill set, yeah? Okay. All right, so that is what's happening now on gold. Like I say again, if gold later on do break OP, If gold do break OP, there is a possibility for it to challenge the KTR, which is 5078. All right, 5078 for the KTR +1. And because it's very near the pivot 2, if the market going to touch there and pull back, that could be a sell. But if the market cross above it, then there will be a very big buy. So guys, that's going to be watching out for 5078, 5058, and 5080. Yeah, these few numbers. Watch out for the upside. Now, downside wise, if the market do break MLP again, I will definitely look to sell. And this time around, I'm expecting to come down to KCB at 4986. Okay, so today is going to be a very interesting day. You just have to follow the rules, follow the colors. Don't miss out the colors. If the colors ask you to buy, you just buy. Ask you to sell, you just sell. And of course, on the technical level, please make sure you understand what's happening here. Yeah, I'm gonna take some picture for this. Okay. All right. So guys, make sure you take a picture of this. Prepare yourself. Today is gonna be a crazy day. It will not be easy. So watch out for that. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm done. Now next one is the look at the US Dow Jones. Okay. Okay, so what we have for the US Dow Jones, let's take a look. Very interesting today. Let me just get the thing proper. Just give me a minute, yeah? Okay. All right, so the Dow Jones today, we have a strong rally, which is a very strong stigma of higher level to come. Okay, but the thing is this, today we are having a DJDD. Today we have a KCL at 50107. So it was created based on this day here, CCRY, KSI green. That's why you have the KCL at 50107. Okay, so what does it mean then? That means now the Dow has to decide whether to go higher or lower. If the Dow stays above 50107, the Dow will go up to challenge pivot 1 at 50331. But at the same time, if the Dow Jones stays below the KCL 50107, there is a very good chance the market will pull back to the pivot 2 at 49,899. So today, the KCL is going to be a very, very important number to watch out, okay? Now, the MLP is very near to the OP. So again, that gives you a very strong relevance here. Now, for DJDD, we know there are two types of DJDD. One is up first, then down later. The other type one is down first and up later. So we have to decide which one is it happening right now. At the moment, it seems that it chooses to go down a little bit and then go up. So is that to tell you to go up to this level? Well, we have to take a look later on. It's still a bit early, but at least we know that we have numbers to watch out for. So watch out for 50107. That will be the number to watch out, yeah, for today. Very, very important number. Okay, so that will take away the Dow Jones. The next market I want to look is the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ today has rallied. Okay, you see that the market literally covered, right? So it's an engulfing candle. It covered up the market. And then you can see the KSI has turned green. The KCX has turned green. So there's a bottoming out effect here, which has already happened. So the question will be now, where can the NASDAQ go? Now, NASDAQ this morning, opening price is 25,280. But now it's trading lower. Okay, something is, there'll be a profit taking in a moment, yeah? Okay, so why? Because you can see there's a lot of pressure by the MA30. The MA30 is trading at 25,407. So this can be a very strong blockage at the moment right now. The market is blocked by this MA30. And of course, the market has to stay firmly at the MLP. The MLP will be the decider. The MLP, if breaks, then I'm quite confident to see the NASDAQ coming down to 25,079, because that's a KCB. Well, it is very possible for the NASDAQ to go there because the market relatively is still very weak, although it has recovered from the bottom with a very strong buy up last week. But I felt that this buy is a little bit fake in my opinion. Hence, therefore, if the market do break down MLP, you have to run. Okay, so this is my personal take. If the market break MLP, you run. If not, then of course the market is going to go back to MA30 at 25,407. Yeah. Okay, so watch out for the Nasdaq. Now, of course, by watching Nasdaq, you have to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, where is it going to go, right? Now, Bitcoin today, finally, the bit pivot has gone back to normal in a way. Now, the pivot 1 is at 72,509, pivot 2, 68,554. The KSI is green, so which means that there's still a lot of buying in the market, right? Okay, so the question is this: if the market is full of buyers, why the price is not going up, right? So that is the very concerning factor here. Because you look at it carefully, the retail are still selling, the big boys are buying, so the upside should be able to go up all the way to say 2,000, okay? But the problem is that the MA30 and MA200, both of them are weighing down the market very heavily. Now, it is a very programming thing. If you basically have a market that's below MA30, below MA200, it's a very strong sell signal instead. So that is the reason why the market is having a little big issue coming up. So the question is this: if the market do break down, if you do break down, because this is DJD D2, if the market do break down, the market has to stay above 68,000. It has to stay above 68,000, yeah? And then after that, okay, and then after that, it has to hold. If it doesn't hold, the market will crack down all the way to 63,227. Okay, so that is a possibility. Gold is trading higher now, 5050, guys. Just I told you guys the gold will go up, right? So it's coming up, 5050 now. Well done for those who are texting me at the same time. See, that's why you see my head going down so much. Texting me on the side. So 63,227 will be my personal target for Bitcoin now. If you're asking me, we go to like 60,000, 40,000, all this thing, I think we take it step by step, yeah? We don't need to rush into this, okay? I believe that there are more rooms for us to play on this side here, okay? Okay, all right. So that is my personal view for Bitcoin. I'll take a picture down to make sure that everybody understands this. Upside wise, I put it down to 72,509. Okay, so upside wise and downside, we have already get the relevant on this. So let's see Bitcoin, yeah. But you ask me, in my personal opinion, I think Bitcoin most likely will be going down to 63,000 in the near term. Not today, it'll be a few days later. Yeah, that's my view, yeah. Okay. All right. Bitcoin done. Someone asked for silver. Okay, no problem. Now, silver is a bit different from the gold market. We have a lot of selling in the silver market, but it's pushing up as we can see. But the candle retained red color. The market is below OP. The market is below MA30. So honestly, this is not a strong signal. It's below pivot 2. It's below OP as of now. So actually, there's a lot of selling pressure onto the market. Yeah. Okay, so some people texting me on the side, asking me my view on the gold market now, if silver is like this. So it's two-way look at it. If you are looking on the positive side, the silver now is down, but the gold is up. So if silver goes up, then the gold will shoot up. Okay, that's one very positive way to look at it. On the negative way, that means silver is giving you a heads up on what happened to gold later. I cannot be sure on this, but I think that we can take it as a guide, okay, as a guide, and see whether what happened. Now, for silver, most likely it's going to test down if you break MLP. Now it's holding MLP, right? You can see silver is holding an MLP very strongly. So if silver breaks down below MLP, there will be some selling to $79.04. I think that's a bit of dollar, about nearly $3 from here. Okay, so if you are looking at the market for silver's cross reference, and silver has a probability to see $79. Okay, now because of the market going upwards and the KSI is red, I kind of believe that there is a possibility for silver to dive back down to $70. Now, of course, if gold price go down $70, gold will definitely come down. Yeah, I repeat that if silver do come down to $70, there's a very, very high chance gold will follow through, okay? At least down below 5,000. So traders, you need to watch the silver closely and decide from here as well, yeah? So silver, upside-wise, if silver can go up, we're going to see going back to the MA30 at $90, okay? So this will be a big range here for silver. I mean, usually silver starting to do at 50-cent range, $1 range, but hardly now with about $10 range, of course. Okay, so upside and downside for silver is very clear. $90 for the upside, and the downside is a look at $70. Yeah. Okay. Gold is still trading higher, as we can see. It's pushing up very strongly. Seemingly some buying is coming in the market. Not too sure who's buying, but definitely someone's buying. Okay, so watch out for that. Okay, let's just bring the last one in, and that's oil. I'm talking about oil. Okay, oil has been very strong at about $62, very strong. So if oil now stays above MLP, OP, oil, very high chance we'll see $64 to $65. Very high chance we'll see that, yeah? Okay, so just watch out for this. I believe that there could be a shoot up on oil to about $66 to $68 in about 1 to 2 weeks time. Why is that so? Because I told you guys after copper, after gold, the next market to buy is usually this oil, yeah? So I think that oil should be going up over there. Gold has just came off from the high level. All right, so watch out for that for $50 and 54 cents. 50 and $54, $5,054. Okay, so why do I think oil will go up? Because if you look at oil chart, all right, if you look at it from the technical point of view, you can see that historical movement is that whenever there is a congregation here, which somewhere around there, and the boys are buying, we can see that there is a possibility of something similar. Now, would there be a war? Would there be something going to happen? I'm not too sure, but based on it, hold on a minute, based on the possibility of what happened previously on. Yeah. All right, so what we need to do is just be very careful. So oil should be able to go up to, my view is about $70 by March. Sorry, I'll make it by April, yeah, April. I believe that oil should be able to see $70 by April, yeah, and of course that will basically push the market even higher. All right, if it can go up, we're selling $5, so it depends on how strong is this market. But I think that if that happened, by right, all the crude oil, mobile, petroleum, gas company will benefit, but that will pressure a lot onto the inflation market, yeah. Okay, guys, so that will be all for today's sharing. I hope you like my sharing today. Do not gold is expected to move big, and silver too. Watch out for them. All right, that's all, guys. Thank you very much for today. Thank you. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.